Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nashta Praeshwa Bhadresho Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatyuttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Krishne Swadhamopagate Dhanamajnanadhibhis saha Kalau Nashtatrishamesha Puranarko Dhunoditah. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 10, Chapter 25. Today we're on text number 7. Aham cha Airavatam Nagam Aruhya Anuvraje Vrajam Marutganaihi Mahavegaihi Nandagoshtha Jighangsaya Aham Chairavatam Nagam Aruhyano Vraje Vrajam Marutganai Mahavega Nandagoshta Jighangsaya. Anyone else? Marudganair Mahavegair Nandagoshtha Jighangsaya Aham Chairavatam Nagam Arutyavanu Vrajam Marudganair Mahavegair Nandagoshta Jighangsaya. Anyone else? Aham Vaira Anyone else? Aham, I. Cha, also. Airavatam, named Airavata. Nagam, my elephant. Aruhya, riding. Anuvraje, will follow along. Vrajam to Vraja, Marut Ganaihi, accompanied by the wind gods, Mahavegaihi, who move with great power, Nanda Goshtha, the cowherd community of Nanda Maharaj, Jighangsaya, with the intent of destroying. Translation. I will follow you to Vraja, riding on my elephant, Airavata, and taking with me the swift and powerful wind gods to decimate the cowherd village of Nanda Maharaj. Kindly repeat. I will follow you to Vraja, riding on my elephant, Airavata, and taking with me the swift and powerful wind gods to decimate the cowherd village of Nanda Maharaj. Purport by the followers of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The Samvartaka clouds were frightened by Indra's powerful mood and thus carried out his order as described in the following verse. So stay tuned. That's it for the purport. Om Ajnanatimirantasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuranmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guroho Shri Yudaparakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Taptakanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Namo Mahavaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Madgavir Gopala Svikuryat Kripaya Yadi Tadaivasam Payaha Pitva Prishiyus Tat Priyajanaha. Here Srila Prabhupada summarizes this passage in Krishna book, chapter 25, and I'll quote, When Indra understood that the sacrifice which was to be offered to the cowherd men, by the cowherd men in Vrindavan, had been stopped by Krishna, he became angry, and he vented his anger on the inhabitants of Vrindavana, who were headed by Nanda Maharaj. Although Indra knew perfectly well that Krishna was personally protecting them. As the director of different kinds of clouds, Indra called for the Samvartaka. This cloud is invited when there is a need to devastate the whole cosmic manifestation. The Samvartaka was ordered by Indra to go over Vrindavan and inundate the whole area with an extensive flood. Demoniacally, Indra thought himself to be the all-powerful Supreme Personality. When demons become very powerful, they defy the Supreme Controller, the Personality of Godhead. Indra, though not a demon, was puffed up by his material position and he wanted to challenge the supreme controller. He thought himself, at least for the time being, as powerful as Krishna. Indra said, "Just see the impudence of the inhabitants of Vrindavana. They are simply inhabitants of the forest, but being infatuated with their friend Krishna, who is nothing but an ordinary human being, they have dared to defy the demigods." End quote. I'm going to continue here. Krishna has declared in the Bhagavad Gita that the worshippers of the demigods are not very intelligent. He's also declared that one has to give up all kinds of demigod worship and simply concentrate on Krishna consciousness. Krishna is invoking the anger of Indra and later on chastising him as a clear indication to his devotees that those who are engaged in Krishna consciousness have no need to worship any demigod, even if it is found that the demigod has become angry. Krishna gives his devotees all protection, and they should completely depend on his mercy. Indra cursed the action of the inhabitants of Vrindavan and said, "By defying the authority of the demigods, the inhabitants of Vrindavan will suffer in material existence. Having neglected the sacrifice to the demigods, they cannot cross over the impediments of the ocean of material existence." Indra further declared, "These cowherd men in Vrindavan have neglected my authority on the advice of this talkative boy, who is known as Krishna. He's nothing but a child, and by believing this child, they have enraged me." Thus he ordered the Samvartaka cloud to go and destroy the prosperity of Vrindavan. "The men of Vrindavan," said Indra, "have become too puffed up over their material opulence and are overconfident due to the presence of their tiny friend, Krishna. He is simply talkative, childish, and unaware of the complete cosmic situation, although he's thinking himself very advanced in knowledge. Because they've taken Krishna so seriously, they must be punished. They should be destroyed with their cows." In this way, Indra ordered the Samvartaka clouds to go to Vrindavan and inundate the place. It's indicated here that in the villages or outside the towns, the inhabitants must depend on the cows for their prosperity. When the cows are destroyed, the people are destitute of all kinds of opulences. When King Indra ordered the Samvartaka and companion clouds to go to Vrindavan, the clouds were afraid of doing this mischief. But King Indra assured them, "You go ahead. I will go also riding on my elephant, accompanied by great storms. And I shall apply all my strength to punishing the inhabitants of Vrindavan." So this is the scene that Srila Prabhupada has very nicely described in his Krishna book. And we can see that cows are the source of all human opulence. Here, Srila Prabhupada has told us that Indra was feeling that when the cows are destroyed, then all the prosperity of Vrindavan will also be gone. And that's true, because we see the picture, all the demigods reside within that cow. Never forget that. And when someone takes care of the cows, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Swayam Bhagavan, Gopala himself, is very pleased. He loves his cows. His own place is named after these cows also. Sridhar Swami says, "Bibhyatastan pratyaha aham cheti anuvraje anuanantaram evagamishyaami, Marugdanaihi devaganaihi saha." So here Sridhar Swami says that Indra is responding, now I'm going, and along with me, following along, I will come just behind you. So I'm definitely going. And I have my Marudganas, the Devaganas. They're going to accompany us. So no fear. The Marudgana, Maruts. Who are the Maruts? You can say they're sons of Indra in some sense. You can also say they're sons of Diti in another sense. You can also say in the Vedas it said they're sons of, or expansions from Lord Shiva. So it's hard to figure out who these Maruts are. But we do know how many there are, because when Diti was pregnant, after having performed this Pumsavana ritual, Indra got afraid that maybe, although she's a demon, maybe she can give birth to a powerful person, because when you perform Garbhadhan Samskara, you're going to have good children. And if you don't do it, no guarantee. So that's an important thing. Out of all the samskars, it would seem, behind initiation, I would say, Srila Prabhupada emphasized this for the householders, Garbhadhan Samskara. So it's a great science, and it's discussed in the Smriti Shastras. But here he's saying, Devagani, he's afraid. He tried to kill that child. Diti had one child in her womb. Indra tried to kill that child. He cut the child into 7 pieces. Abortion. That's what they do in abortion. They just chop up the child. So sick. But somehow or other, these 7 pieces, they divided further, in each of them, into another 7 pieces. So there were 49 of them. He was afraid of one. Now he has to deal with 49 of them. But they didn't take it like that. Evidently, Diti's vrata was powerful enough to attract souls that are of the pious disposition. So they didn't get angry at Indra even though he killed them. Why are they called Maruts? Ma-roda. Don't cry. When he killed them, don't cry, don't cry. I mean, it's really quite perverse. But this is what lust will do to you. This is what greed will do to you. Nunam pramatta kurute vikarma yad indriya pritaya aprinoti. Out of great affection for sense gratification, we will do any sinful thing to meet our needs, and we don't care if it's pious or not, because we're mad. Pramatta. Matta means mad, actually. Pramatta means very mad, very nuts, very crazy. So, anyway, these Marudganas, here they're described by Sridhar Swami as Devaganahi. They're godly. That's why they're considered to be in the class of demigods. Although they're born of Diti, they should be Daityas, but they're not Daityas, they're Adityas. At least they're treated like Adityas. And they have, oddly enough, become the assistants of that person who once tried to kill them through Indra's association. Even though Indra is not perfect, his association, it would seem, was sufficient to elevate their character. Either that, or it's Diti's credit that she attracted godly souls through her ritual, Garbhadhana Samskara, like that. So this is what Sridhar Swami says, very brief. Sanatana Goswami has also given his commentary here. He says, Indra is thinking, what can the power of small beings do to me? I'll come after you to Vraj, Anuvraje. Who's he talking to? I will come after you. He's talking to his clouds, the Samvartakas. So who's coming? Indra and also the Devaganas, the 49 Maruts. because the Maruts are like the stormtroopers, you can say, of the demigods. They just come and create a huge mess by storms, very violent. Here they're described in the verses, Mahavega. Vega means a strong force. Just like our senses are described like that, isn't it? Vacho vegam, manasa krodha vedham, jihwag vegam, udara upasta vegam, etan vegan yo vishaheta dhira. That person can become a guru. If you can tolerate the senses, pushing you this way and that, ordering you this way and that, like a hard taskmaster. Actually, this one, who is it, Yadu Ganguly? I think so. He composed a nice verse. He's saying that for so long I've become the servant of these senses, and I've worked without any pay, and they've not been kind to me. They've not given me anything, and they've not released me from service either. Now, suddenly, my intelligence has finally woken up a little bit, Jiv Jago, by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was telling us, hey, wake up and realize what you've got in the Uttishtata, right? Jagrata Varan Prapyana Bodhata. Upanishads tell us also. You've got such a boon in the palm of your hand, and you're asleep, ignoring it. We have a nice expression in English, asleep at the wheel. You can imagine. If you're driving and you're sleeping at the same time, you don't have long in this world. I saw this happen once. We were going to America one time, and I myself was dozing in the front seat because it was too early in the morning. We had to leave. And then I was woken up by the voice of our driver, who just said, he's gone. Split second later, I heard, bam! Huge crash. What happened? Being India, a lorry was parked in the middle of the lane, and some other guy, I think that the driver could see he was swerving. He was falling asleep. He just went straight into the back of that truck. Finished. You hit it at a good speed like that, not much chance. So asleep at the wheel, it's a very dramatic way of saying that a person is completely oblivious to the danger of material existence. Padam padam yad vipadam natesham. Devotees don't have to worry about that if they're serious, if they're actually following the process, which we all have to do. So, anyway, how do we get on this topic? Yeah, Vegas. So they're powerful, these Maruts. And they assist Indra wherever he needs to go and, discipline someone. They will go. Now, in this case, they were apparently more sober than Indra was, because they didn't really want to do it. But because they could see how angry their boss is, that's how it is. If your direct boss is immediately very angry, then, So they were in a touchy circumstance. All right, so I will come riding on Airavata, since if you lack water, he can supply it. Now, what is this? Indra is telling them that if you need some water, the whole storm is flooding Vrindavan. How would they be in any need of water? Who has an answer for this? I'm trying to problematize the situation here. If you think about what you're reading, the question should arise. You can't just skim through Prabhupada's books. You have to read it, and you have to think about what he says, everything, every little word. So why does Indra say to his clouds that if you lack water, then I can supply it, or Airavata will supply it? Why he says this? I can think of two reasons. One reason is that where did Airavata come from to begin with? Anybody remember? Yes, out of the churning of the ocean he came. That means he's himself Amrita. He's deathless. You can't kill this elephant. It's That's one thing. No matter what anybody throws at Airavata, he's not going to be killed, except from Krishna. If Krishna wants. Krishna can do anything. That's one reason. But why would Indra say that if you need water, Airavata will supply it? Because elephants, they drink water and then they blow it through their trunk. We've seen it. After they bathe, this is what they do. And they cover themselves with dust also. So, anyway, this is Airavata. What is it in Bhagavad Gita? Airavata Gajendranam. Krishna says, out of all the lordly elephants, I'm Airavata. For this reason, he's immortal and he's powerful. So Indra's on the back of Airavata. And I'm coming along with 49 winds to destroy the village of Krishna's father, Nanda, or the village of he who takes joy in bhakti, or he who satisfies the world. That seems to be how Sanatana Goswami is taking this compound here, Nanda Goshtam. The circle of Nanda, or the village of Nanda, because Goshta also means a village. Or he who satisfies the world. I'm not sure how he derives that, but he continues, I will destroy that village, Goshta, and not the city of Mathura. Discriminate. This is a smart weapon. He was afraid of the powerful Kamsa. See, Indra is afraid of Kamsa. That's how powerful Kamsa was. And Kamsa's friends were also very powerful. Like Jarasandha, he was no lightweight, even though Krishna defeated him 17 times and he still didn't give up. Some people just don't learn. Hope springs eternal. Indra was thinking, this time I'll get it. And all his demoniac, Jarasandha, and all his demoniac friends are encouraging. So anyway, this Jarasandha was so powerful that he could pick up a war elephant and throw it all the way from Mathura to Mithila, where his kingdom was, in Magadha. That's in Bihar, for your information. Think about that. And raise your hand if you can do that. No, I didn't think so. So what to speak then of Kamsa? This Jarasandha was just a friend, minor. So Indra, the king of heaven even, was afraid of Kamsa. That's how these demons are when they come here. They want to control everything, and sometimes they do. Those are the demons that Krishna kills. These little pipsqueak demons that we see nowadays, they can't do anything. And Krishna doesn't even need to bother. Maya takes care of them. But if somebody's so powerful, then Krishna wants to show his devotees how much power I have. Ahamadir hi devanam ityadi. He says in Bhagavad Gita, I am the source of all these gods, so that none of them can fight me. What to speak of the demons? So, Indra was afraid of powerful Kamsa. This bad decision indicates the inauspicious nature of his journey. And he will learn his lesson in the coming verses. But he wanted to destroy Nanda Vraja. He wanted to destroy only Nanda's village, not the rest of Mathura Mandala. Very discriminate. Sanatana Goswami has further described this event, not in his Bhagavatam commentary, which we've just summarized, but in his Sri Krishna Lila Stava. Everybody aware of that book? Has anyone read that book? Sri Krishna Lila Stava. It's not in Tamil, but English, even in English, nobody knows it. No marketing for the BBT translations nowadays. But it's a wonderful book. It's also called Dashna Tippani, Notes on the 10th Canto. He goes through the entire 10th canto, at least of Vraj Leela, Krishna's Bala Leelas. And he summarizes all of them in just a couple of verses, 3-4 verses for each Leela. Very, very nice book, suitable for recitation as a daily meditation on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, in chapter 24 of that book, which deals with this pastime, we'll begin with text number 236. He says, Jaya Vasava Yajagnya Pitra Prishta Makharthakaha Shruta Tatokta Yagnartham Karma Vadavataraka. He's glorifying Krishna. He says, victory to you. Aware of the sacrifice for Indra, you asked your father its purpose, and then heard him explain its meaning. You then introduced the theory of fruitive work. I'm not going to dilate too much on that because we're in a specific section here where Indra is sending the clouds. That's what we want to talk about, but I will read what Sanatana Goswami has written here. By all kinds of spurious arguments, you stopped the sacrifice to Indra and started the sacrifice for Govardhan Hill and the cows. I bow down to you. You explained how to worship the cows and the hill, and to inspire the cowherds with confidence, you assumed a second huge form and claimed to be the hill yourself. Giriraj Govardhan Ki Jai. Anybody here worship Giriraj Govardhan Shila? No? All right. Anyway, those who worship Giriraj, they have some idea. And to inspire the cowherds with confidence, you assumed a second huge form and claimed to be the hill yourself, and you devoured the offerings provided for the sacrifice. Giriraj. Yesterday I was talking to my wife, and I told her that since he's coming here, he's eating 2-3 times what he normally eats, Gopal. And she said, no, I don't think so. It's probably Giriraj who's doing that. He likes to eat. My godbrother Nitai Chand told me a story. He was going to preach in Bangladesh. Bangladesh, not a good idea to take your deities if you want to keep them, because it's a Muslim country. So he left his deities in the temple of Jagannath at Rajapur, Mayapur. We've all been there. He's another one who likes to eat. That's if you pay a small sum, you can purchase the Raj Bhog offering, prasadam, and that's an unforgettable experience. Your life will not be the same after that. I have personal experience of it. So he left his Giriraj there. After some days, the pujari came to Jananivas, Pankajankri, and he said, hey, this is a problem. There's something, that I'm having these dreams every night. Jagannath is coming in the dream to me, and Jagannath is telling me, hey, you got to get rid of this Giriraj. He's coming and eating all of our stuff. Govardhan Nathji, he's worshipped in West India, Gujarat. Gaur Bhagavan Prabhu can confirm. There they eat their sweets first. First thing is Shrikant, then the meal follows. And everything has sugar in it also. So that's what he's used to. So when he comes to Jagannath, Jagannath has his Chappana Bhoga, but on East Indian side, they like to eat bitter things first. So anyway. Yeah, so Giriraj has devoured all these offerings. Sanatana Goswami is glorifying the Lord. Govardhana Shiro Ratna, Govardhana Mahatvada, Krita Bhusha Shanabhira, Karitra Driparikrama. That means, O crown jewel of Govardhan, who gave glory to Govardhan, you had the cowherds dress themselves up, prepare offerings of food, and circumambulate the hill. What does he say in Bhagavatam, Prabhupada's translation? Or maybe it's Krishna books. They all dressed in nice garments that had gold borders, right? What do you call that in Tamil? Golden borders. Maybe it's not a Tamil word. In Malayalam, they call it kasavu, right? The way they dress there. Yeah, tanga. Anyway, this is more proof that Krishna is a Tamilian, in case you were doubtful about it. And the Tayar Sadam is not enough in chapter 14, right? And there's mention of Gopurams and everything also. As mundane scholars, they think that the Bhagavatam was written sometime in the 9th century in South India. At least that's one theory. But they all have theories, and they're all wrong, ultimately, about everything. Krishna's eternally, as we know from the Acharyas, Tadhama Vrindavanam, Aradhyo Bhagavan Vrajeshatanayas, Tadhama Vrindavanam. The supreme worshipable personality of God, it is Vrajeshatanaya, the son of the king of Vraja, who is being attacked here. And Tadhama Vrindavanam, that's his eternal abode. Ramya Kachit Upasana Vrajavadhu Vargena Yakulpita. The method of worship that the gopis conceived of, that's the topmost, according to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And it's twofold. There's Sambandhanuga, Madhurya Rasa, and there's also Kamanuga, Madhurya Rasa. Kamanuga, Madhurya Rasa means the gopis, young gopis. They're attracted to Krishna in love, in conjugal love. But the Sambandhanuga, Madhurya Rasa, that's the other class of gopis. Who are they? Old ones. Once I was in Govardhan Hill. Raise your hand if you've gone to Govardhan Hill. I used to live there. And right near that intersection at Dangati, on the corner there's an old temple. It's a Divya Desham. Did you know this? That temple, Lakshmi Narayana temple. So I went inside that temple, and there were some old ladies singing bhajans. We took darshan of the Lord. And as we were leaving the temple, one of these old ladies, she must have been 80 years old, and she was really gundu, really fat. And she had like glasses that looked like the bottom of a Limca bottle. And she had missing teeth. And she turned around and said to me, Hum gopi ka hai Giriraj ki. Means we're all Giriraj's gopis. These are the people that Krishna loves, even the older ones. There are stories like this. Old ladies, if they do service for Krishna, sometimes, he says inappropriate things to them also. He'll inquire, are you married? This is Krishna Leela. You never know what to expect. So, you had the cowherds dress themselves up, prepare offerings of food, and circumambulate the hill. So that ends his description in the 24th chapter of the 10th canto of his Sri Krishna Leela Seva, summarizing Krishna's Braja Leelas. Now, on today's verse, Jiva Goswami also has a very short commentary. Swata Shriyavali Pranam Visheshta Shri Krishnena Satejas Kvikrita Chittanam Ityartha. He also says in Lagu Vaishnava Toshini as well that Indra is speaking, that I'm going to come riding on Airavata, since if you lack water, he can supply it. That means two acharyas said the same thing. Sanatana Goswami, Jiva Goswami. I will come along with the 49 winds. He had a desire to destroy Vraja and not Mathura. The same thing he's saying. This means he desired to become friends with Kamsa. He wanted to develop an alliance. The real meaning of Jighangsaya, however, is, quote, I will follow you with a desire to see Nanda's place. This appears to be Saraswati Ma's interpretation of Indra's statements, according to Jiva Goswami. But ordinarily, Jighangsaya, what does it mean? Do we know another verse that has this word in it? Jighangsaya? Think third canto, Uddhava. Jighangsaya payayadapya sadhvi. Yes. When Putana tried to kill him, what was her intention? With the intention to kill him. Jighangsaya. She wanted to really hurt him in a terminal way. So this is Indra's intention also, very, very inauspicious. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur adds to this. Indra spoke to the frightened clouds, I will also come behind you, desiring to destroy, Jighangsaya, the cowherd pastures of Nanda. The real meaning is, I'm also coming, desiring to see the cowherd pastures of Nanda. So that's He's again giving the same commentary. He wants to destroy the cowherd pastures of Nanda. Sometimes we hear he wants to destroy the Vrajavasis. Sometimes we hear he wants to destroy the cows. Sometimes we hear, as is the case now, that he wants to destroy the pastures. Why would he want to do that? We mentioned yesterday, Krishti, Godaksha, Vanajyam. All opulence comes from these things only. Cow and bull. And that creates Krishti, agriculture. Just like the British, I'm told, when they left India, there's a certain subspecies of this plant. I forget your Tamil name for it. We call it babul in the north. It goes very, very deep. 30 feet down these roots go. And on the top, it's just a thorn bush. There's absolutely nothing worthwhile about this plant. I don't know why it takes birth like that. Sinful birth. But one subspecies to the British all over India on the way out, they planted this just to destroy India's agriculture. Because this stuff just, no natural predators, any introduced species, that's how it works. So there's nothing to stop it from spreading far and wide. And once those roots go down 30 feet, what are you going to do with that? See how demoniac they can be? That's what Indra was thinking like. He was thinking he could do it by flooding only. But we'll see how he's foiled by this little talkative, arrogant cowherd boy named Krishna. We'll see in the coming verses. I don't want to spoil the plot too much. Now finally, Vallabhacharya, he has some things to say here. He says, the cowherds can stay in caves also. Hence, there may be the possibility of giving battle with our Lord Krishna with a view to kill them, as rain and hailstones cannot destroy the caves. Not sure what to make of that. It's not my translation. Hence, I will also come with my Airavata elephant. Airavata is an elephant that cannot be defeated at all, as it was born during the churning of the milk ocean for obtaining Amrita. Hence, this elephant is immortal also. Firstly, it was living in water. Did you know that? Airavata used to be an aquatic creature. Never heard of an aquatic elephant before. I think they do swim, though, actually. Believe it or not, I think they can swim. Not sure about that. But now it is stationed on the earth. Hence it can give battle both in water and on earth. I will come to Vraja riding on such an Airavata elephant, following all of you. At Vraja there is a large concourse of cowherds, and Sri Balaram also, who is very, very strong. For the question, you are only one, and how will you give battle to so many at Vraja? This is the question he poses, and then he gives the answer. Indra says in this verse that I will come to Vraja with very valiant 49 Marut Ganas, because these Maruts, they're not only very powerful in terms of their ability to create storms and chaos, disasters, tsunamis and hurricanes and things like that, but they're also very martial spirited. Maybe they're Aries or something. So, because Aries likes to fight, they get angry. And so, I'll come with the 49 Marut Ganas. The main motive is Indra was only to destroy the Vraja of Nandagopa, such an offensive thing. And of course, this whole point of all this Leela, and why Indra became offensive, Indra's not usually offensive like that, although he does get into trouble regularly, it seems. Usually he has girl trouble more. For example, Shuchindram, right? Anyone been to Shuchindram? South Kanyakumari district. That place is famous because they call it Tanumalaya. Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, all three together are worshipped in the same temple because in that temple, Indra came to worship all of them. I think it was some sage had given him the advice to go. Maybe Agastya Rishi told him that he should go there, do tapas. So Indra was praying to anybody and everybody he could after he was cursed. You know the curse. You would probably be praying to anyone and everyone also. So that's what he was doing. That place is called Shuchindram because Indra was purified there. But what was I going to say about this now? Now I've lost my train of thought. But anyway, all right. So coming back to Govardhan Leela, this is, his intention was to destroy all of Vraja. Yeah, that's one of his problems, I was saying. Indra has problems from time to time. That's one of them. We know so many cases. So this is just to indicate to all of us that, there's really no point in worshiping demigods. Demigod worship was not always so popular as it is now. I mean, it has become popular because kaimais tais tair hridajnana prapadyantayanya devata. Yes, we respect the devas. We also treat them as almost equal in authority to the Supreme Lord. They do have authority. They are respectable. They are gods, after all, devas. But they're not comparable to Krishna, and that worshipping them is actually it's not proper, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. What does he say about this? Yajanti avidhi purvakam. It's not according to the rules. Now, obviously, if you're doing some puja for the devatas, there are vidhis that govern that puja. So why does he say that? Because actually the principle has to be considered. What is the supreme among all the vidhis? Supreme. Sarva vidhi nishedhasyuhu etayoreva kinkara. Who knows the verse? Yes. You always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. This was Indra's mistake. He forgot Krishna. Why? Because he wasn't reading Srila Prabhupada's books. I'm always saying this. So, this is the problem. If we don't have knowledge, it's just a question of time before we commit some offense, and our whole devotional creeper can be jeopardized. Don't think you can't lose this. It's not very deep. It's really not that deep, although we think it is. You put yourself in the wrong association for long enough, and within a matter of just months or years, you will also be a non-devotee again. That's a fact, with most of us at least. So we have to be so careful. It's now 9 o'clock, and we've finished summarizing the commentaries here. So I'll end, and if anybody has any questions or comments, then we can discuss. Yes, Gokul.
We worship Krishna, and then he is glorified as a great devotee.
Yeah.
And then we don't have even any painting of that amazing form of Krishna that he manifested at the top of the Govardhan and went on ani or eating more and more.
Right. Well, there were two forms. One was Krishna himself, the other one was Govardhan himself.
Yeah.
Govardhan is also Krishna, but he's Govardhan.
But sometimes worship glorified as a great devotee.
Yes, that's also true. There are many things that are inconceivable in Krishna consciousness. That's one of them. How he's a devotee and the Supreme Lord at the same time? You cannot conceive of it. In an inconceivable way, it's reconciled. Now, according to a strict logician or an empiricist, he'll say that's no reconciliation at all, but it is. You just have to accept, in all humility, the fact that there are some things you can't understand. That they're not willing to do. And that's the problem. So Giriraj is not different from Krishna, just like the deity. Prabhupada writes in the 8th canto, if you read it, that the deity is also marble or stone. Everybody knows. Marble, metal, deities, obvious. But he's not at the same time. That's not obvious, that part. How do you realize? Bhakti. You serve the deity. Oh, who's willing to do that? Puffed up person will never do that. Bow down, mister. They won't do it. But this is how Krishna tells us many times in Bhagavad Gita. This is how I'm understood. Only way to understand me, you got to bow down. Be humble. Worship me. Then I'll show you everything. And it's true. But nobody knows this unless they try it. That's the thing. And Prabhupada therefore gives that analogy. Like a jar of honey, you have to open it up and eat it. That's the only way you know it is honey. You can't really describe honey completely. I always say you can photograph it, you can maybe, interview honey, you can write a report on it, you can talk to other people who've eaten it. So many things you can do empirically. But if you want to know what honey is, you have to experience honey. And the only way to do that is open the jar and eat. So this is Krishna consciousness. It's like that. It's a subjective science. It isn't, no way you can say it's not scientific. It's definitely scientific. Every single time you get the exact same result. Every time. But, if you're not willing to do it, then who can help you? Owl syndrome, Prabhupada said, like the owls. They don't want to come out and see the sunshine. So they, of course they don't believe there is such a thing. Is that okay? Yeah, he's the same and he's different at the same time. You can worship him interchangeably even. One day he's a devotee, one day he's Krishna. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is like that. The spiritual master is like that. The deity is like that. So many things are like that. Tadiyanam samarchanam. But with Giriraj in particular, he's the best of all the servants. Haridasa Varya. There are 3 Haridasas in Bhagavatam, right? Who are they? Yudhishthira Maharaj and Uddhava and
then
Govardhan Hill. But he's a Haridasa Varya because he's the only one who is Krishna. Haridasa Varya. That's a distinction you can look at. Just like there's always some distinction, just like the Madhvacharya calls this Vishesh. So spiritual master, yes, he's also supreme personality of servitory Godhead, but only servitory Godhead. He's not Sevya Bhagavan, he's Sevak Bhagavan. And we already mentioned, deity is marble, but the deity is not marble, he's Satchit Ananda. But you don't realize that unless you actually serve him. That's what I'll say now. Anything else?
Prabhuji, this you explained from the that Indra was not trying to. He was trying to avoid Mathura, being scared of Kamsa. I was just thinking that even when someone becomes very mad, Pramatta, you were explaining, they can even go and then take association of the enemies. Like Kamsa was enemy of Krishna, and then here Indra we see even ready to, take association with Kamsa.
It's political, in other words. Yeah, there's a political dimension here. Yes. Yeah, and who is it? I think Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur directly said he's trying to create an alliance with Kamsa, just in case Airavata doesn't work. Kind of like Russia and Japan, right? So anyway, no other questions? Yeah. Srinivas. Every temple has one.
Is there anything like as a Gaudiyas, we worship Govardhan more as a devotee than Supreme Lord?
Say it again?
Is there anything like we...
yes, of course there's something like that. As the devotees can worship him as a devotee.
More than that he's...
Well, Lord. You can't forget that he's Krishna. You have to recognize that. But yeah, it depends on an individual's mood, his own rasa, his own devotion. Some people see him more as a Haridasa, some people see him more as Hari, Sakshat. It's like that. Is that okay? Yeah. Anything else? Okay, then we'll stop here. Thank you all very much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.